Good evening and welcome to the Village Board meeting for the Village Trustees, the Village of Pleasantville. Today is Monday, July 28. I apologize for our late start. We ended up in an extended discussion with the folks who live on and near Sutton Place about pedestrian safety and parking regulations on their street, and that ran quite a bit longer than we had originally thought. So apologies for any of you who were waiting. Another matter that we addressed in work session was a presentation by Digital Tech Pay Display Company, which is the second company we have looked at for the potential replacement of some of our meter equipment, certainly the pay and display units that are in the lot behind the bookstore in MacArthur's, which are long in the tooth and having maintenance problems. So we've been looking at various alternatives, some of which could potentially be implemented in other areas of the village, but at minimum we're trying to come up with a good alternative for those lots. And among the things that are on the table is the potential to have the capacity to pay with a credit or a debit card, and even in some cases, all attached to a cost, the possibility of paying through a smartphone app. So trying to inch forward into the 21st century and at the same time keep our parking rates as reasonable as we can. So more on that as time progresses. The important announcement to be made is that this past Friday, the 25th, was the official retirement day of Mike Testa, our nearly 30-year building inspector. An extraordinary run, one that has got to make Mike perhaps the longest tenured building inspector in Westchester County, or certainly in the running for it. We had a send-off retirement party for Mike a few weeks ago. That was a great event, but he continued over the last 3 weeks working in tandem with our new building inspector, Robert Hughes, who comes to us from a position in the building department of the Village of Mamaroneck. And Robert is now officially the village building inspector for the Village of Pleasantville. So any of you who have active activities with the building department will be seeing Robert instead of Mike. Mike is obviously still a resource to us and generously offers to assist with his long memory about the Village of Pleasantville, but we are excited and pleased to have Robert in place, and lots of things going on already. That's a convenient segue into two things that people have asked me some questions about. One is the progress with the Henkel building on Marble Avenue. Mike and now Robert report that they're very close to a certificate of occupancy on the warehouse portion of the building, and will probably start to occupy that conceivably even in the month of August. The office wing, which is being built in front, is a bit behind, certainly several months behind that schedule as they continue to work on that, but progress continues to be made. That was a project that ran into some site difficulties that cost more time than they had originally hoped, but we are optimistic that Henkel will be in residence, in office and warehouse within a few months. Other point to be made is that the Burns Film Center has been through the approvals process and is now starting a construction project to build 2 more theaters. Theaters 4 and 5 will be 2 small screening rooms, I guess about 40 seats apiece, something like that. And they're being built essentially on top of the new wing, theaters 2 and 3. So you'll see activity there. In fact, activity tomorrow. Am I right, Patty? A crane is coming?
Tomorrow morning, yes, very early.
So at any rate, an exciting project that will give the Burns new opportunities, and you'll be seeing activity there, and no doubt a little bit of construction inconvenience over the course of the next 6 to 9 months. Did anybody else have any announcements they want to make? Not sure if did I mention the Best of Westchester magazine?
You did
last week. Okay,
last
so
time.
Don't need to go through that whole thing again, but again, congratulations to the members of our Chamber of Commerce who were mentioned in that. After our regular meeting, we have a work session with interested folks as well as the Recycling Committee on the subject of a ban on plastic bags, which has been proposed by our Recycling Committee. So after we going back into work session to have that discussion, and also a discussion on the Climate Smart Community Program, which Patty has given us information about based on a seminar that she attended. So those are 2 subjects for conversation after a regular meeting. Anybody who is interested or has opinions on the subject of either of those, the potential ban of plastic bags for retail takeout, and the idea of the Climate Smarts Community Program. We'd be happy to get any comment of any sort. Can come to Patty or me. Our emails are on the website. With that, let's go to the resolutions, Colleen.
Resolve the pre-check register dated July 28, 2014, covering pre-check numbers 78355 through 78509 have been reviewed, and they are hereby approved as listed below. Coming from the General Fund, the Water Fund, the Refuse Fund, the Capital Fund, the Trust and Agency Fund, and the Pool, totaling $615,033.80.
Is there a second?
Second.
Comments or questions?
I see a lot of music festival expenses. How far out are we with getting them all in and all reconciled?
We have one more bill for IT work from Darren Greco to come in. We may have one or two other vendor bills related to T-shirts and some minor stuff, but we're close. We have a meeting scheduled for this Wednesday. I can tell you for revenue, we're just shy of $100,000, which is not bad. We're about $97,000 in revenue, and I don't believe any more revenue's coming in. Although Vendini does hold a very small amount of money for anybody who challenges a credit card charge. So we'll get that in September. It usually comes a couple of $100 will come in from that. But it looks like we're just shy of $100,000 in revenue. So, we'll see.
And it's our preliminary expectation that we lost a little money on this year, although not enough to wipe out the advantage that we had built up over a few years. But among the discussions we'll be having on Wednesday with our partners at the Peak, and then carry it back to all of us for a conversation with us, is whether and how to revise the event to secure it for the future, or to determine that it is too hard to pull off. So I can speak for myself that I would be sorry to lose it. I think it's a great and useful event, but I can also speak for myself in saying we can't lose money on it. So. All right, any other questions about the check register? All in favor? Aye. Motion approved.
Resolved that the Board of Trustees has reviewed the minutes of the meeting held on Monday, July 14th, and they are hereby approved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Comments or corrections to the minutes? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion approved. Jonathan. 117.
Resolved that the Board of Trustees hereby appoint Steve Dahmer to the Parks and Recreation Advisory Board to fill the unexpired term of Michael Gilfeather, SID, term to expire April 2016.
Is there a second?
Second.
Steve Dahmer came and visited the board a couple of weeks ago, and delighted to have his expertise and his interest. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion approved. Steve.
Motion made, oh no, that's me. Resolved that the Board of Trustees hereby accepts the resignation letter from Fabio Gola dated January 9th, 2014.
July.
July 9th, 2014, thank you. Resigning from his position as motor equipment operator effective July 31st, 2014.
Is there a second?
Second.
Fabio's a long-standing employee. We wish him well in his next endeavors. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion approved.
Whereas sealed bids were advertised in the official village newspaper and received on July 11, 2014 for sidewalk improvements, and whereas bids were received as per the following and reviewed by the Superintendent of Public Works as followed: coming from Acapella Construction, $37,450; Bella Vista Corp., $40,650; Palladino Concrete, $43,800; Contech Construction, $46,425. Now therefore it be resolved that the Board of Trustees, based upon the recommendation of the Superintendent of Public Works, hereby awards the bid to Acapella Construction in the amount of $37,450.
Is there a second?
Second.
This does not include the proposed work at the corner of Sutton, right?
It does not, but what we do with these types of bids is extend them for up to about a year, and if any other projects come due during that time, the contractor has to honor those works. And we get estimates. We basically ask them to bid on what we think is going to be a quantity that we will be repairing in the next few months. So we can change our scope to accommodate this anyway. We definitely won't exceed our budget either way.
But, okay, what was our budget?
We had $200,000 that was capitalized a year ago. We started the program just this past year, if you remember. And we spent close to
Over 100.
143,000 perhaps, and some of that came back in the form of 50/50. Some of it didn't because it was village sidewalk work. But we have, I think, 60-something thousand billed out back, and we still have money left. So we're in a good place with the capital plan right now. And we'll try to get some more done in the fall.
And CHIPS doesn't qualify for this.
No.
Not for sidewalks,
sidewalks.
no.
All right, thank you.
I have a quick question. So in the ledger, we have Bellotta doing a lot of sidewalk work, and this is a different contractor.
He had the bid last.
He had
He
the bid
did,
last
and then we
time.
just,
He bid in this round, but
He
he
did.
was not the low bidder.
okay.
He did bid, didn't he?
No.
No,
No,
I didn't,
No, we
see-
did
I didn't
not.
see him in there.
I'm
He
sorry,
just-
he didn't
It was
rebid.
Bella Vista, you know.
Did that work
That's
out?
right.
Are we?
He was fantastic.
Yeah, they did a
No,
great,
he
in fact,
he
we
did a
got an
great job.
extended thank you letter from a neighbor who
The
was
work-
so
the work
impressed by
was- The work was
the work.
excellent, but he did say that he felt he lost money.
He's overextended right now, too,
Okay.
I think.
I was just curious why we were changing. Thanks.
You're
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Motion approved, Mindy 120.
This is like my favorite resolution ever. In
Yeah.
the face of like
A happy
all
day.
We're
time,
gonna
I
certify
could
it
like
And
kiss
put a
the
seal on
ground
it.
right
We're gonna
now.
seal it,
Resolved that the Board of Trustees hereby approves the bid for the pool building renovation to Vinco Brothers LLC, 1134 Main Street, Peekskill, New York, 10566, in the amount of $370,000. Thank the Lord.
Is there a second?
Yes, second.
Thank you.
It is happy
voted.
news.
I just want to say it should be not to exceed.
Right,
Yes.
not to exceed.
without further
Yeah.
Table
authorization.
seconder.
We'd like it to be less.
Yes,
Um,
we would like it to be less.
The project includes complete renovation of the bathrooms and
Disgusting
locker area, the
bathhouse.
creation of a family bathroom, the creation of some outdoor showers, which will allow people to hose off outside or to hose off their kids outside, and substantial improvements in the breezeway that will create a much nicer entry route, as well as the modest reorganization of the staff side, including moving some walls that will improve the efficiency of the operation and take advantage of some
And in
space.
addition to using a large room for storage for recreation programs, which is what we really needed because we didn't have it in the other building that we just did either.
There were a couple of ad options that we hope to be able to fund and as yet cannot, one of which was an improved shade structure that would have replaced the current sort of tent-like thing that's over the picnic tables at the snack bar and would have had a canopy that extends a little bit out over the deck to create a little more shaded area for those who wanted it. That didn't come in within the budget, still on the radar screen, potentially in the future. We'll see how this all works out, but certainly the happy news is Vinco has walked the site and very confident that they're in a position to do a good job for us. And they'll take possession of the site right after the pool closes at Labor Day and snip the ribbon when it reopens in the spring. So,
And we'll get the pictures up on the website. Plan.
Right.
I think that would be really helpful.
And we can
Yes, we'll
print
do
out
that.
the
We will.
plans as Mindy
And yeah,
suggested.
well, we can put some
them in the
copies
breezeway.
at the rec center
Yeah.
as well.
And in the breezeway at the
No, in
pool.
the breezeway.
Yeah,
pool,
but that's
yeah,
closing
'cause
soon, so,
I mean-
we already raised the prices there, and the other thing is the new blocks are in, and they look really good.
They
and
do look good.
Yeah,
They're
they
so
do.
safe, and the kids are, too bad we can't win a meet, but, you know.
We won the
It's a building
invitational
year.
We won the
yesterday.
invitational.
We won the invitational.
Had a great
Oh, yeah. Oh, that's
invitational
That's
on,
fantastic
Oh,
invitation.
on
congratulations.
Sunday, which was really unbelievable.
Yeah, and-
They
and-
did an unbelievable job.
Nice.
I should have actually said that earlier when we were
Right,
doing the
that's
announcements.
right,
We should give a good shout out and a thank you for the folks that organized that
The
invitational.
swim team board.
The swim team board
Yes.
puts a
Petra
tremendous amount
Zorgman.
of work into organizing these events. It's amazing how much they get done and how well it goes off. The attention to detail was very well done. So
Just very happy nobody called the police on all the illegally parked cars.
All right, all in favor of number 120?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion approved. Off to the races. 121, Jonathan.
Resolved, excuse me, resolved that the Board of Trustees hereby authorizes the village treasurer to close out the following capital account for the village roof hall for the fiscal year 2013-14.
Look at that balance.
Balance
big
zero,
goose egg.
yes. All in favor, is there a second?
second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Well, what would happen if we refused to close an account with nothing in it? Steve, 122.
Resolved that the Board of Trustees
poor
hereby
Mary,
approves
no.
the following budget amendments, 11,500 increasing the parks outside services account, $13,500 for storm sewers outside services for a total of $25,000.
Is there a second?
Second.
And where is that money coming from?
Well, we had reserved $25,000 in fund balance appropriation for Church Street drainage, if you recall. This was prior to closing the fiscal year as one
Right.
of the things
Right.
that we encumbered. That project came in at 13.5. We also had discussions, I had extended discussions with representatives of the school district, Steve Chamberlain, John Barrowline, as well as Jeff Econom, on how to maintain Parkway Field going forward for the fall. And one of the things we had to do was do a very intense treatment to the outfield in the football area, which we just started now, but we needed $11,500 for that work. So instead of having you guys worry about another amendment, we just took the balance from that encumbered money that was set aside.
And not to diverge, but what is that work on the field?
It's substantial. I'll share the contract
Yeah,
with you.
it'd
but
be
Jeff-
helpful to see, just so we're all
Yes.
aware of what the treatments are. So
Yeah.
I think, thanks to you, Patty, and to the folks over in the school district, we've got an improved communication protocol, and I think the
Right.
chance for everybody to be pulling
We
the
had
wagon
three
in the same
proposals,
direction.
and we ran them by, we all sat down, little committee work, but by committee, this was the best way to go to try to get something established that would hold for the fall. So you'll see it happening out there now.
Great. All in favor?
Aye.
Colleen, 120.
Resolved that the Board of Trustees hereby authorizes the village clerk to notice a public hearing for Monday, August 11, 2014, 8 p.m. prevailing time, 80 Wheeler Avenue, Pleasantville, New York, to hear comments as it pertains to a local law amending Chapter 173, Vehicle and Traffic, Section 173-60, parking prohibited at all times, Village Lane, as follows. Section 1, Chapter 173, Vehicle and Traffic Section, parking prohibited at all times, to add Village Lane south from Marble Avenue to end.
Is there a second?
Second.
This is a proposed parking prohibition on Village Lane, which is the street that heads down to our DPW garage and recycling center. The reason for this is that the folks at Henkel will be soon occupying their warehouse, and in addition to the activity of Public Works, there will be the arrival of about 2 trucks a day, and all parties, especially Jeff Econom, our DPW superintendent, believe that this is the best way to maintain a safe and reasonable passage for everybody along that street. So anyone with concerns on that subject is welcome to comment on Monday, the 11th at 8 p.m. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion approved. Mindy.
Resolved that the Board of Trustees hereby authorize the village clerk to notice a public hearing for Monday, August 11th, 8 p.m. prevailing time, 80 Wheeler Avenue, Pleasantville, New York, to hear comments as it pertains to a local law amending Chapter 173, Vehicle and Traffic, Section 173-6, no stopping certain hours, and 173-65, no standing certain hours. Sutton Place as follows. Section 1, Chapter 173, Vehicle and Traffic, 173-64, no stopping certain hours, to add on the west side of Sutton Place, all hours, all days for the entire length, and Chapter 173 and Traffic 173-65, no standing certain hours, the west side, all hours, all day, the entire length.
Is there a second?
Second.
So this arises out of the discussion we've been having with the folks on Sutton about trying to improve the safety conditions in that area. There's already no parking on the west side of Sutton Place, but lots of parents, or I should say, at least on some occasions, parents have taken advantage of what they perceive to be their right to idle there in the no parking zone. And we are seeking to address that by establishing a no stopping, no standing, no parking, don't block the box. So, public hearing on that subject on Monday the 11th is the subject of this resolution. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion approved. Anybody have any further new business?
Don't we have
We
another
have
one?
another resolution.
Oh, right, there was an extra one. Thank you. 125.
It's Jonathan.
Jonathan, yes.
Resolved that the Board of Trustees hereby appoints Peter Basha to the position of part-time bus driver at a salary of $12 per hour effective July 16, 2014.
Is there a second?
Second.
Patty, this is for the senior bus?
The senior bus, and as you know, we'll be getting a new one, and we were looking for somebody who we knew would have the core competencies to drive it. It's a little bigger than the
Do
other.
we still have Kevin?
We do.
Okay, good.
We do, yeah.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion approved. When is that bus expected to arrive? Do we know yet?
Mid to late fall.
Okay, so we're making
being
progress.
built.
So. All right, there being no further business, is there a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Thank you all. We'll be back in 2 weeks. We're now going back into work session for the purpose of talking about the proposed plastic bag ban and the climate smart communities. See you in 2 weeks. Thank you and good night.